There is this strange thing standing on the railway track, a mixer of a train engine, a car, and an airplane. It has wheels from a train, an engine from an airplane, and a body designed like a car. A famous individual invented it, whose creation helped reduce the commuting time for Soviet Union officials. Now we all know that at that time, Russia used to be the Soviet Union, a massive country. Traveling from one corner to the other used to take officials several weeks. To solve this problem, Valerian, who was just 25 years old at the time, decided to invent something new. He designed this car-like aircraft, which would run on train tracks, but had an airplane engine fitted into it. A propeller was also attached at the back to instantly boost its speed. This invention could travel at a speed of 140 kilometers per hour and was named Aerowagon. It was made in 1921, and achieving such speed in that era was truly extraordinary. Aerowagon was such a need of the time that even during its design phase, it became viral across the entire Soviet Union, and people eagerly waited for it. On July 24, 1921, its first test run was conducted from Moscow to a city about 200 kilometers away. The inventor himself, along with a few officials, boarded it. On the way to the destination, the journey went very smoothly. However, on the return journey, the Aerowagon derailed from the tracks and met with a horrible accident. All the Soviet officials aboard were killed. Welcome once again to ASTV's video. Viewers, the Soviet inventor was not the first person whose invention caused his own death. There are countless such stories in history. Let's now learn about 4 inventions that, during their initial phases, took the lives of their own inventors. Number 4. Lighthouse. Near the shores of Plymouth, England, there's a sea area where rocks stretch for 12 miles. In the 17th century, an engineer named Henry Winstanley was sailing his ship through this area. In the darkness of the night, the rocks were not visible to him, causing his 2 ships to crash into the rocks and break apart. Henry realized how dangerous this area was for the shipping industry. Being an engineer himself, he decided to solve the problem. In 1696, Henry designed a lighthouse that would alert ship captains from afar to avoid these rocks. His design got approved, and he started construction using wood and granite. It was a 115 feet tall lighthouse with a room at the top illuminated by 60 candles. For the next 7 years, this lighthouse successfully protected ships from crashing. But then, one day, while Henry was inside the lighthouse, the greatest storm in British history struck. Powerful winds and ocean waves destroyed the lighthouse completely. After that day, neither the lighthouse was ever found again, nor any trace of Henry. Number 3. Leaded fuel. This was one of history's deadliest inventions, which killed not only people, but caused mass damage. Thomas Midgley Jr. invented leaded fuel, fuel that we now know is used in vehicles, but back then was called lead fuel. It used lead chemicals, and at that time it was a major breakthrough for the automobile industry. Midgley even received several awards for this invention. However, leaded fuel increased the amount of lead in the atmosphere, causing widespread lead poisoning. Many workers in his own factory began dying, but at the time, the actual cause remained unknown. After years of investigations, leaded fuel was replaced by unleaded fuel, but by then, enormous damage had been done to the world. At the age of 51, Midgley himself became a victim of lead poisoning, which left him bedridden due to polio. To help himself move in bed without assistance, he designed a pulley system. Tragically, one day he got entangled in his own pulley system and died of strangulation. Number 2. Flying car. For a long time, flying cars have been part of science fiction stories, but now they have become a reality, passing intercity flight tests. The world's first flying car was invented in the 1970s by Henry Smolinski. He was so obsessed with flying cars that he decided to build one himself. Henry designed a wing system that could be installed on existing cars, allowing them to both drive normally on roads and fly when needed. He created a prototype called Ford Cessna. On September 11, 1973, at the Ventura County Airport in California, he took off the prototype for the first time along with his co-pilot. Initially, the takeoff was successful, but soon after, the airport manager noticed black smoke in the sky. It turned out that the flying car had crashed, sending dark clouds of smoke all over the city. Investigations revealed that weak welding in certain parts of the Ford Cessna led to the tragic accident. And now, number 1. Max Valier. Max Valier was an Austrian pilot who was ahead of his time in the race of inventions. He aimed to create a spacecraft that could carry humans into space. Max knew very well that space travel required extremely high speeds, and airplanes of that era were not fast enough. Thus, he first made a rocket and installed it onto a car. Thanks to this rocket, the car reached a speed of 232 kilometers per hour. But this was still not enough for space travel. Max decided to create a faster-burning rocket fuel. On May 18, 1930, while experimenting with this new fuel, something went wrong and a rocket exploded violently. This explosion caused the first-ever death in the history of spacecraft inventions. If Max Valier were alive today, he would have witnessed how far his dream has progressed. We hope you enjoyed this video from ASTV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your valuable comments. Thank you for your love and support. See you in the next amazing video.